Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the long-awaited, much-requested every NFL team's regular season review. Oh yes, it's the wonderful time of the year where I get to reflect on each and every team and either clown myself or applaud myself. Also, you guys like that Adrian Peterson Wheaties box back there? It was in my dad's basement forever and he just got rid of it. I think it's pretty cool. Couple of plugs as always though. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. But remember, always play responsibly and let's get into the video. Okay, so here's the list we're working with today, and this should be pretty similar as to what I had set up last year. At the top, we've got the teams that I could not have been more wrong about. Under that, we've got the teams that did better than I thought they would. In the middle, we've got the teams who performed as I expected. Then under that, we've got the teams who did worse than I thought, and bottoming the list are the teams who did way worse than I thought. And just so people know, this does go, a little bit beyond just records. Obviously, records are a big part of this, what I predicted, but certain teams I had other expectations for that either were or were not met. So without further ado, let's get started with the New York Jets. Okay, this is a pretty difficult one to start with. They did worse than I thought, but it wasn't necessarily all their fault. They lost their biggest chess piece. They lost their queen, literally, immediately. They didn't have their team the entire season that they had planned around all offseason. That'll bring us to San Francisco, and they did as I thought, at least I think. And by the way, putting them in the middle on this list does not mean they're solid or average. That just means they did what I thought, and I thought they were going to be a juggernaut, and that's exactly what they are. You don't have a team that good and do bad unless there is a severe amount of injuries, and this year actually it seemed like they dodged a lot of them. Now we got the Ravens. I couldn't have been more wrong on that one. Yeah, I had them winning 9 games and they won 13, which 9 is kind of close, but it's the fact that I didn't have them winning their division. I didn't really even have them making the playoffs. They did much better than I thought, and that's a big pill I gotta swallow. And now we got the Panthers, and I want to say they performed as I expected, but they did worse than I thought, and this is where records, it goes beyond that. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to win a lot of games, but I thought at the end of the year they were going to have it together, and they didn't score a point in the last 2 games. They struggled really bad. And now we got the Saints. Now, this is a division that I do remember specifically saying the winner would not have 10 wins in, and they didn't. The Bucs only had 9. That being said, I do think I remember saying that the Saints were going to contend, but probably just end up missing it at the end, and if that's what I said, I hit that right on the head. And now we got the Bears, and this one's really, really difficult because I did bite on their hype train really hard last offseason, and that bit me for the first quarter of the season, which then I think would qualify it to be where I dropped them completely out of it, and then at the end they exploded into that offense I didn't expect, which would lead me to put them in the better than I thought they would category in the end. And now we got the Falcons, and they did way worse than I thought because I remember saying that they were going to be the winners. I also remember saying I thought Arthur Smith was a really good coach. Now we got the Bengals, again, not really all their fault, but they did end up doing a little worse than I thought. They had a nice replacement after Joe Burrow got hurt, but I expected them to be a playoff team at the start of the season, and they weren't. Therefore, I got to bite a little bit of a pill there. Now we got the Browns. I think I actually had them winning the division, so technically I was wrong, but I am going to say they performed as I expected because they had over 10 wins. They made the playoffs. That is a moral victory for myself. Now we got Green Bay. I have the right to say they just did better than I thought they would, but I'm going to say I couldn't have been more wrong because I slandered Matt LaFleur into the ground. And I also remember telling one of you guys in a Q&A that there was no fucking chance they made the playoffs, and I was very wrong on that. Beside all that, though, I have showed great support to this team and Jordan Love. And now we got the Texans. They did better than I thought they would. I didn't expect them to win the division. I didn't expect them to win a playoff game, but I thought there was a chance. I liked D'Amico Ryans. I liked CJ Stroud coming into this year. I loved the offseason that they had made, but in no way, shape, or form did I see them going the distance that they ended up going. And good for you guys, too. Now we got the Colts. I couldn't have been more wrong on them. I thought they were going to be shitters all year, and they were in contention until the end. Better yet, they were doing it without a full roster the entire season. For a while, they didn't have JT, and when he came back, they didn't have their quarterback. What a mess, and how good they did. That's impressive. And we'll end this segment with Kansas City. They performed as I expected. They won their division. I knew that was going to happen. Nobody in there was going to take that from them. Did I see them going to the Super Bowl? No, but this is regular season, or it's supposed to be. Now we got Jacksonville. Way worse than I thought. Way worse. I thought Trevor was going to be the MVP. I thought Ridley was throwing up like 1,500 receiving yards. I thought this team was going to go to the playoffs. No. Not even for a second did any of that actually appear that it was going to be happening. For a while, the Jags were a top team in the NFL, but the last half of the season, I think everybody could see from a mile away what was happening with that roster, and it was very sad. Now we got the Bills. Performed as I expected. I do remember at the very end making my change of mind. I had Miami all offseason winning the division, but I did switch it to Buffalo, and I was correct. However, I don't think their win total was. I think I had them at 12. Nothing wrong with putting them here. Hey, I got a playoff win. It's just I have to sit here and watch another Super Bowl that they're not going to be playing in, which sucks. Detroit did exactly as I advertised. They won the division. They won a playoff game. 2 playoff games for that matter. They couldn't have done anything more to prove to me that they were the team I thought they were, and that was a legitimate threat this season. Well, we got Arizona. They did better than I thought. Damn near way better than I thought. Yeah, they might have only came out with 4 wins, but at some point during every game, they were in contention to win that game. They played hard. They just didn't have anybody, dude, and they had a brand new coach with a quarterback with a bum leg. Like, give them an offseason just like the Colts, and we might be seeing a really scary unit coming out of them. Now we got Dallas, and I'm fairly certain I was right on the money with them, too. I even think I had them winning the division. I was very high on them. How did you look at that roster and think they weren't gonna be good? I will say the aspect I was dead wrong on was Tony Pollard, though. Like I just talked about, I expected him to be like LT, and he wasn't. But let alone he didn't hold the team back, I would say, at all. And now we will do the Denver Broncos. You guys can guess it. They did way worse than I thought. Yeah, they might have been close to the 10 wins or the playoffs I had them at, but it's the fact of the matter that I flew to a fucking state to take a picture in front of a stadium with a clown wig on because I was that confident that they were gonna succeed this year, and they didn't do it! I'm cool, I'm good. All right, now we've got Philadelphia, and they're going in the way worse category. Yeah, they might have made the playoffs and had double-digit wins, but I did not see the meltdown from this team that happened coming. I didn't see them looking like a varsity flag football team for the last half of their season. I didn't expect them to drop 5 of their last 6 games. I didn't expect the entire world to turn on Nick Sirianni. Like, yeah, he's always been an ass, but I think everybody's at the general consensus now that he doesn't have a brain in his fucking head, and if he did, he would be dangerous. This team literally proved that from week 1, their hands were held until Roger Goodell lost confidence in them and told the referees, hey, stop backing them up because it ain't even believable when they win games anymore because it's so obvious that they're not that good. That brings us to Pittsburgh. I want to say could not have been more wrong because I think they were bottoming their division, but at the same time, I remember throwing them down there and saying I expect them to do better than I thought. However, I didn't see them going to the playoffs. Not with the roster they had. I will say with complete agony, though, I did have a prediction of Kenny Pickett turning it around like Trevor Lawrence did in year 2, and again, that one I look like a real asshole about. Seattle, worse than I thought. I thought they were going to be a lot better. I thought they were going to go to the playoffs, and in reality, they were really inconsistent as an entire team. Tampa Bay, couldn't have been more wrong. I thought they were going to literally be, I think, like the 2nd worst team in all of football. They made the playoffs and won a division title. Like, Wyatt. Washington, they performed as expected. I called them trash. I ate my words for like the first 2 weeks and then they revealed their true colors and that was brown like shit. Still will never understand what happened to Sam Howell. That needs to be studied. That brings us to the Rams. Again, couldn't have been more wrong. I might have had them in the same ballpark as Tampa Bay actually. Just terrible. 4 to 5 wins maybe at max. They went to the playoffs. They were the Seahawks of last year if I have to be completely blunt about it. And also this team that I think was about to disband is now closer together than they've ever been because of the success that they saw and generated this year out of virtually nowhere. And this segment, we got the Raiders, performed as expected. I thought they were going to be booty, and they were indeed booty. Big booty bitches. All right, now we are on to Miami. Performed as I expected, did real well, and just fell a little bit short to their fathers. Snooze, you lose! Vikings. I actually did better than I thought. I thought they were gonna be terrible. They didn't do way better or anything like that, but I thought they were only gonna get like 5 or 6 wins and never be contending. And pretty much until Kirk Cousins got hurt, they were actually one of the better teams in the NFC. They had a rough start, but they got it together, and I will die on this hill. If Kirk Cousins didn't get hurt, he would be the absolute, without a doubt, sole most valuable player this year. Patriots, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think they were gonna do good, but I don't think I thought they were gonna do this bad. I didn't see Bill walking away. I didn't see them having the worst season they had ever had. At least I don't think. Like, even just predicting a 7-10 season out of them, you would have been way wrong. Titans, just as I thought, they didn't do shit. Remember that crazy Titan fan that screamed at me who I blocked on every social platform but probably still watches my video? Yeah, buddy, what was that all for now? Shut the fuck up. Giants, sadly, they did way worse than I thought too. They went from a playoff team to being one of the worst teams in football. Now, they did figure it out towards the end, but they were nowhere near the team or organization that I thought they were gonna be this year. And ending, we got the Chargers, and they performed as I expected. I remember literally saying Brandon Staley was gonna hold them out of the playoffs, and Brandon Staley held them out of the playoffs. Also, that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen, for every team's regular season review, according to me. Hope you guys had fun with this. Hope it lived up to your expectations. And if you guys want to show support, you already know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, and turn that bell on. I try to post every weekday. However, with everything I said, I'm going to get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and as always, I will see you in the next video.